You're now listening to N21FM, a Pokemon podcast. I'm your host, Glenn, joined as always by my wonderful co-host, Johnny. How you doing today, buddy? It's good to be here with you today.
I'm doing good. We had a fun little family afternoon today. Spent some time just out of the house. We got some coffee, got some donuts from a local shop that
Wait, which one?
was really oh my god.
You don't have to dox yourself, I guess, but
No. It's called August Lily. That's the
yeah. I've never heard of that.
It's really cool. It's like right around the corner from where I live. They do coffee and pastries, and they sell flowers. It's
love
a
that.
coffee shop and flower shop kind of combined. It's really, really nice in there. Very kitschy, very eclectic, boho
It seems
chic,
like something that my wife would enjoy.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's
cool.
It's a nice place.
I'll look into that.
But yeah, we did a little bit of that, and then checked out a sunflower field this afternoon. The last one of the season, I think.
Wow.
The flowers are starting to get a little wilty. Unfortunately, it's that time of year.
Sure
so
is.
Summer is coming to an end. At the time of recording this, actually, we are 2 days away from fall, as it is. So,
wow, that's right.
Yeah.
When do we change the clocks back? Do you recall?
That's gonna be November.
Oh,
yeah,
dang
we don't.
Not soon enough.
No, not soon enough. Especially with like the way everything is. It's gonna be November 1st, though. It's going to be the day right after Halloween. So
lovely.
Look forward to that. Halloween night, you get to set your clock back.
Get an extra hour.
The same night.
An extra hours of scary movies and candy and screwing around, just having a good time.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah, so we did a little bit of that, a little bit of shopping, and just came home to relax before recording this.
Wonderful. Well, it's good to be here with you. My week has been pretty standard. Probably. Yeah. I mean, nothing noteworthy really about it. This is one that I've definitely been kind of coasting. I think the most noteworthy thing, I've been deep in the mines of Borderlands 4, as we'll talk about during our what we're playing section today. But so that's been kind of the majority of my week. I also decided that I was going to go and visit my local Apotheca for the first time.
Ooh.
They sent myself and my wife. They have a program where they'll just like send you something when you move into a nearby neighborhood. They'll send you like a $20 gift card. They accidentally sent my wife and I 3 of them.
Yo!
So we're sitting on like $60 worth of gift cards, and I was like, you know what? Let me just go get something, see how it treats me. So I've been trying that out. It's been fun.
Man,
I mean, like I grabbed a little like puff before we started, sat down with our pre-show, and I'm feeling good. Like I feel relaxed. I'm having a good time. It's just, we're feeling good. As far as like other stuff with my week, I think the most noteworthy stuff about our week was this weekend. We went up, we got breakfast at our normal spot. We have this like little diner that I'm going to gatekeep in the Kannapolis area that we love. We go get there. We're regulars there. We get breakfast there almost every Saturday now. And we're able to get out. Like, I mean, I paid $20.16, and it got us both full meals, waters, and a thing of French toast to split.
Oh, that's sick.
And the tip for the waitress. So, dude, this place rips. I'll have to show you sometime off camera. It's a great place. I'm gonna gatekeep because I don't want people to know. But
100%.
Had our breakfast, and then I think the next thing we did was we went out to a couple of yard sales. Where I guess Maggie doesn't like yard sales.
Maggie does not like yard sales, apparently.
That's all right. But we picked up some goods there. Nicole got a bunch of new clothes. I was actually able to pick up. It's a little too small for me, and I don't have it ready. I should have grabbed it to show you. But you're familiar with Tyler, the Creator, correct?
Yes. Don't listen to his stuff too much, but yes.
So he collaborates with Converse and has a clothing brand called Golf Wang, like Wolfgang,
Nice.
or I
Love
guess it's
that.
like, oh no, it's Golf Le Fleur. That's
Okay.
the way it is. No, it is called there.
Yep.
He does have like a brand called Golfwang though. That's like Wolfgang
Golf Wing
backwards.
sounds so sick.
It's also very on brand for Tyler. But he had it's bright green hoodie that just says Golf Le Fleur on it.
Okay.
It was in like brand new condition. So I grabbed that, and then I actually went to Sam's Club today to pick up. They had some shoes on sale for not on sale, but they were selling like pairs of Adidas for like $40 a piece, and I was like, well,
yeah,
I'm getting two. So
yeah,
just some nice reliable Adidas. You know, it's good to have good sneakers.
Yeah, I need to pick some up too.
You can use my Sam's Club membership.
I need to get some. I need to get some new Vans. I've been neglecting mine, unfortunately, and they're about to get even further trashed tomorrow. I'm going to a concert and
heck yeah,
absolutely gonna wreck them. But that's okay, you know.
Yeah, no, that's the place to wear your Vans for sure.
Yeah, 100%. My millennial is showing.
Dude, I wear Vans and Converse all the time. Like that's about all I wear, really, except for my Brooks. Listen, the importance of good footwear. There are a couple things in life that you should never skimp out on. Toilet paper, that's a big one.
Yep.
Shoes is another huge one.
Yeah.
And of course, like the food you put in your body. Those are the first three that come to mind. I'm sure I might have said something like this on the show before, but like you never want to
every time too.
Yeah, it probably will. But there's a lot of important stuff. But I know toilet paper is always in there. Shoes are always in there. There are very important things to take care of, to not skimp out on. You know, you wear your shoes probably more than you don't. Think about that. I mean, especially like if you're a freak who wears your shoes inside the house.
I try not to, but yeah.
I sometimes find myself forced to so that I don't pick up dirt on my feet, because I have a hardwood floor and a very messy cat. But
yeah, that's so fair.
Sometimes it can't be helped. All right, let's get into the show this week. We've got some topics for discussion. We've got a little bit of news. We'll talk about what we're playing this week, and then we'll close it out by talking about the currently ongoing Pittsburgh Regional, where we've got some players there. I wish we actually could get somebody like live on the scene right now. That'd be super cool to actually just live interview Zach or somebody. But some pretty cool stuff going on this week. I think we should just go ahead and dive in. But before we do, make sure folks at home to check out patreon.com/terminalcreative. Remember that this show is funded by you and you alone. We will never roll ads on this show. That is entirely something we don't want to do. It limits creative freedoms in a way that I don't really want to deal with. And it makes it so that we're able to more directly deliver the content that you guys want to have. So patreon.com/terminalcreative. You've got some options there. $1 a month gets you early access to every episode, as well as access to our bonus show, N21 Plus. $5 a month gets you the audience participation tier, where you get the previous benefits, as well as access to a thread every month where you can write in questions for the show. And then I was actually wrong. I was mistaken about this. The tier that gets you your name right at the end of the show and a producer credit is actually a $10 a month tier. So it is not $15. It's only $10. Which
that $5
is just
has been holding you back from that.
Yeah, if $5 has been the big deal breaker, go ahead and upgrade, man. It's I'd say it's worth it. We're also working on getting some other stuff in that tier just to give more benefits. But for the time being, I think it's still kind of a steal. I think we have a lot of backed up N21 Plus content on there. Most recently was our first ever Boozin' Battle, where we had our own little drinking game with the Pokemon TCG, where we did a 3-deck conquest style format where Johnny and I battled 3 bad decks apiece, and whenever our opponent took a prize card, we took a beer shot, and it was a great time. I had a lot of fun with that recording. I still cannot believe you predicted the Greninja EX Dusknoir build in regionals that weekend.
I was very close to it too. All I'm saying, I still think Unfair Stamp is a little more real than Grand Tree, but I understand the Grand Tree pick. So
I'd say so too. There's not as many stadium counter picks right now.
No, there are not a lot of stadium counter picks.
So Grand Tree is pretty good.
It is the time to play the Grand Tree build if you want to, but I think now that one's on the radar, you might be better playing the Unfair Stamp.
Or even a third thing, Secret Box.
Ooh, Secret Box would be good. Secret Box isn't bad, but I don't
could be cooking.
I don't know if there's any stadium. Maybe like a jamming tower. Maybe a jamming tower.
Jamming tower would be good.
Do that for jamming
you can
tower.
always play. No, you play Pidgeot. You don't want to play the Rockets Watchtower.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could just throw jamming tower into anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, when there is a stadium that we did we mention that is that in the doc? No, it's not.
It's not.
There is a stadium coming out very soon. We'll probably cover it when it gets more officially revealed. But briefly speaking, this could be very bad news bears for Dusknoir and Dragapult and Frostlass and Monkey Dory and all of those guys. And I'm very happy about it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll get to that maybe a little bit later on this.
Certainly.
One. Yeah.
All that stuff though is that I mentioned is of course at patreon.com/terminalcreative. That link will be in the description below if you want to check that out. Support us, help us continue to stretch towards our goals of an RSS feed, some better equipment, and eventually getting some merchandise made. Yeah. So with that in mind, let's get to our first couple of topics for discussion. The first one here is actually the Pokemon XP and Worlds 2026 Spectator Pass registration being delayed. This comes to us from Pokebeach.com, where who wrote about this? I don't know this guy's actual name, but he goes by Water Pokemon Master.
Yeah, he's the site owner, John.
Yeah, the site owner. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, he pretty much runs the whole thing, I think. So most of the articles probably are from him if they're on Pokebeach, unless it's like a meta discussion. Sorry.
Good to know. No, that's okay. Though obviously this is a little bit late because this was posted September 16th. We're recording this on the 20th. Now, the Spectator Pass registration for Pokemon XP and Worlds 2026 was supposed to open tomorrow, being the 17th. But TPCI has announced there's been a delay. New registration dates will be announced at a later date. And this is a direct quote from them. Multi-day pass registration has been delayed. This year's Pokemon World Championships will be the biggest yet, and with the addition of the new Pokemon XP convention, for fine-tuning details to better provide a great experience for fans. We'll be announcing details on when passes for these exciting events will be available at a later date, so please stay tuned. Johnny, what do you make of this?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I think that this, to me, this implies they either haven't gotten everything ironed out for what they want at Pokemon XP, or they are working on maybe some of the experiences still, and they want to have a full list of experiences available for when registration opens. Give people a more concrete idea of what to expect. They already have some activities listed on the website for this, but I think that there might be maybe some more that they want to highlight. It's either that or it's simply just a logistics issue and they haven't gotten everything confirmed the way they want to. Either if it's finalized numbers that they need in order to have for the space to confirm with them, or if the event space itself is going to be maybe changing. I don't know. I don't think the event space changes much, but it might just be a capacity thing.
I imagine if anything, it would be a capacity thing. They would change size of the. Sorry to interrupt you. I think if anything, though, the capacity, the size of the venue itself will probably shift a little bit. Like they said, it's the biggest one yet, so they're probably reimagining the entire floor plan, possibly for Worlds. For Pokemon XP, I'm curious as to what this is even going to look like. This is an entirely brand new event. If you're not familiar, this is just a way to experience Pokemon. It's literally Pokemon experience. Like it is exactly that. You're just there to experience Pokemon without maybe some of the pressure and pressure of the competitive environment of Worlds. So it is a place to visit to just have a good time and experience Pokemon. Something for a more casual fan who's not there for the competition. I find it interesting that Worlds registration dates were also supposed to be like the Spectator Pass registration for Worlds was also supposed to go live, because it seems to me like that's early.
It seemed a lot earlier than last year's, that's for sure.
Well, because you also have to consider like a lot of people will get their spectator passes because they don't get their qualification. And most people don't have their Worlds invite yet. So I find it peculiar that they would just put out registration for spectator passes this early when not everybody even knows whether or not they're going as a competitor or a spectator. So interesting. I think this also has something to do with the organizers. I believe this is still, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is the same group of organizers that's been doing the past year's worth of tournaments, if I'm not mistaken. Who's that group? It's game something.
It should be GamingGen. They're the ones who have been they're the ones who've been handling the tournaments, especially the last year now, I think.
Right.
Everything's kind of gone under one TO. I know, what was it? The 2023-2024 season had a couple of TOs.
Yeah, it had things like Day 2, Overload, lots of places doing organization. I think the GamingGen, the convention of GamingGen being the sole tournament organizer for TPCI is a very recent development. And I think so far it's not paid off. I don't know how much they invested into having that TO be the only one doing it. But so far, it seems like the quality of regionals has not improved substantially. I think the quality of tournament has been negligibly, like almost no difference, if any. There's also been some drama at Pittsburgh right now. It's Pittsburgh, right? Yeah, Pittsburgh currently, with round one of a couple games, I think, having to be delayed because of poor staffing and other issues, and like a crowded hallway where people weren't able to get in, probably fire code violations. So these are probably all things that play into reasons for this delay. I wonder how long it will take before TPCI drops GamingGen and figures out a better way to do this.
That's a good question. I need to and this might be a topic for another time.
Probably so. I just wanted to kind of speculate on it for a second while we're talking about those registrations and regionals and stuff like that. We don't have to delve any further if you don't want to.
No, absolutely. I wanted to look this up because this is something that I think I heard, but I didn't. I'm not like confirmed on it, and that's why I want to kind of get this answered. GamingGen does event services, but I believe they're almost exclusively at this point they're almost exclusively like TPCI
interesting
services right now. They've been around for a while. Their website has quite a bit of info on them, actually, which is cool.
Really?
Yeah, they've got their Gaming Generations website. They have full events. Apparently they do more than this, but it seems like a lot of their big stuff seems to be a lot of Pokemon and a lot of stuff working with. They mentioned they very much work with Nintendo pretty heavily. Their website's also not. Their timeline is also not actually updated on their website past 2024.
Wow.
It says 2024 is the most recent part on their timeline to be determined. The year looks to be busy, and that's about it. So there's not a lot of info on it. But I know for a fact that I know that maybe using them almost exclusively might just not be the best thing that TPCI could do. But I understand that they might also be forced to work with this company exclusively right now because it could be like a contracted thing, right?
Oh, certainly.
Where the company says, okay, well, we need to do this many events if we're going to work with you. And that's where it starts getting into the territory of TPCI saying, okay, well, if they need this many events, it probably works in their benefit to just put everything under one company for a season and then go to the next season, or for multiple seasons if it's like 40 events or something like I don't know. I'm just throwing a number out there, So yeah, a certain number of events where they need to get it like that. You know, I don't know exactly if this is the best way they could have handled this, but I definitely think that, I mean, certainly going to my first regional, at least in Atlanta, I think that there were things that I liked. I definitely enjoyed, you know, the space. The hall was good, but I think that there's, you know, things they could do to maybe make the space a little more enjoyable. And I know our friend Zach, you know, they said today they were telling us, you know, there was some really cool stuff that they had seen there. You know, they had the cloth wristbands instead of just, you know, the snap on ones that
Mm-hmm.
no one really likes to deal with. They had um, what else was it? They had like music playing, you know, for people who walked in, rather than just like listening to the cacophony of a loud event hall, you know, and just going from there, right? Like it's cool to have all of this stuff, but I think there might need to be a little bit more.
Yeah, I've long said that having GamingGen be the, excuse me, I'm hiccuping, the sole tournament organizer was a bad move. I said it as soon as
Mm-hmm.
it was happening last,
Yeah.
or before last season when it was announced. I wonder what it will take, because from my perspective, it has seemed like just a colossal loss for them.
Yes.
But I don't know. Maybe those financials work out really well for them, so maybe they'll continue to do it until people stop attending regionals, which will probably never happen. So
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what the future of that deal and arrangement looks like. I'm hoping that if nothing else, we're able to provide feedback to GamingGen so that future regionals can be fewer and fewer problems, because that is noteworthy as well. I'm actually curious right now. Okay, no, never mind. I was looking at on LinkedIn for anything else with Pokemon. I was curious if GamingGen was hiring as well. So
Mm-hmm.
it looks
I
like
was
neither of them
actually
are. So no more of that this week.
Yeah, I was actually looking at. They had some updates this morning. They had posted on X, formerly Twitter, saying that they on the official they had changed their account name specifically to the Pittsburgh regional championships, and it looks like they do that for every one of these regionals. But they posted an update at least, and they kept it at a decent time at 8:30 was the edit for it. They said they were running into delays. They're actively working with the venue and the security team to get competitors in as quickly as possible. So what that implies to me, at least, is that the venue has its own staff that still has to be there, and the venue is in charge of security if they're working with a security, or at the very least, if it's not a venue security, it's a third-party security team that was outsourced. It's not
Yeah.
a official security team that is operated by GamingGen.
It's
So
also totally possible. I'm sorry to cut you off again.
no, you're good.
I got to interview Henry Cortez, a good friend of mine
Mm-hmm.
who was staffed out to run to work for NAIC last year and Worlds. He was on
Yes.
staff at those events, not hired by TPCI, but I think by the venue itself, to go out and make sure that everybody was like, all the employees were clocking in properly and
Mm-hmm.
their like time was being tracked properly. So I'm sure like there's a lot of behind the scenes work. I wonder if an analog to what his team was doing has anything to do with why this delay is so problematic. But either way, I think it's important that TPCI addresses this pretty soon,
Yeah. Yeah.
because like this is borderline catastrophic. We can't have, like, regionals go late anyways. We can't have them
Mm-hmm.
starting late as well.
Yeah, that makes it so much more difficult, especially when, you know, the changes have been made to seem that at least that it seems to try and accommodate for longer for timely day ones, and now slightly longer day ones to ensure that day twos have better timeliness. I'm assuming for breakdown and exit, you know. of the facility. So yeah, I don't know. I don't want to harp on this too much longer.
Yeah, no, I
I
think we
think
can move on from here.
yeah, I will say, for what it's worth, at least, when they do get the registration open and stuff for Pokemon XP, it definitely is still going to be a good event, I think, regardless. It seems like they're
Certainly.
still planning to go all out. I still like the fact that they are, it looks like, trying to make all of the side spectator stuff that has been at Worlds in the past, especially like at this last year's in Anaheim. It looks like they're trying to make all of that the Pokemon XP stuff, the events and the shopping and all of that, and then put exclusively gameplay for players as Worlds, essentially.
Oh,
So
interesting. We're talking like no Pokemon Center at Worlds anymore?
it looks like the Pokemon Center pop-up is going to be part of Pokemon XP instead. And so I think what likely would happen is, like, if you're a participant, right? You get to go you probably get into both spaces if you're a participant. I would certainly hope you get into both spaces if you're a participant.
Yeah. That would be strange.
If you don't, I think then we have another serious discussion to have at that point. But yeah, just based on like the based on the stuff on the website, it looks like they have the info about Pokemon XP, and with these prices, it seems like with the prices, you're likely getting into both spaces. I would think. Right?
I would
like
hope so.
$150 for a multi-day pass, or if you're doing like the full experience with the arena at the end, $180,
Yeah.
So
totally see that.
Yeah. So yeah. That's the only other thing I kind of wanted to highlight, at least, is, I'm holding out hope that, this is just a hiccup and we see more good stuff.
Totally possible. I hope you're right. I'm interested to see more of that. I don't really have anything else to say about that, so we can move on.
Yeah.
I wanted to next, and we'll come back to talking about this regional of Pittsburgh a little bit after the what we're playing section, because we have some stuff to talk about with Pittsburgh. Now, the next thing we wanted to talk about is our usual price spikes this week article. This comes to you via TCG Player. The biggest price spikes of the week. This is as of 9/16, actually.
Yes.
So there's a couple on here, and I want to make an addendum to what we said last week. Last week, we made the claim that these prices were inflated, and it's possible that some of them still kind of are, but it appears that the listing that they were matching for market price into what was actually market price was incorrect, but I was wrong. It turns out the market price that shows up by default when you are looking at products is actually the lightly played. Meanwhile, the one that they're showing here is near mint. So there was a little bit of a discrepancy there that I wanted to apologize for, that misinformation, so that we could get back to it.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a cool spread here. Johnny, do you want to take me down this list and tell me what these cards are?
Yeah.
There's some big ones. There's some history made this week.
The first one, and I think the biggest one here that a lot of people will be excited to hear about, or just if in general, if you follow card prices and you're interested in this stuff, Moonbryon, the infamous Umbreon VMAX illustration, has finally broken the $2,000 threshold for a Pokemon card sale. This is and this is not like this isn't any sort of like special edition. This isn't a poncho. This isn't, it is not a super, super old card. This is a card that was printed within the last 5 years,
Yeah.
And it's broken $2,000. But this card was, since day one, was absolutely just a menace in the market. So it's not entirely surprising to see that happen. But it's definitely interesting to see this card finally break that point.
Yeah, I'd say so. Man, I'm reminiscing right now as I'm looking at the art of this card because the art is awesome, but there was a brief window in time where Umbreon VMAX was also very playable in Arceus
Yeah.
Duraludon Umbreon.
Mhm.
And Dark Signal is a cool effect, and I was sitting here like, oh man, wouldn't it be so sick if we had something like this today? Like put
Yeah.
Umbreon VMAX in the game so that we can, hear me out, we evolve Umbreon, we gust somebody up, we Peturunt into the active, give it a Mochi, and we're swinging for 200 into whatever's there. Maybe give it a little more damage, but
hitting. Well, the hitting that, I mean, I'm assuming this was like, I didn't play at the time, but I know the Arc Doral decks were pretty popular.
yes,
And I know that this thing, I'm assuming, would have been included simply because it hits for a weakness more than anything else.
yes, it was weakness, and it was the gust effect was very strong. Because oftentimes you just evolve this to gust on while it's on the bench, and then use the active Duraludon to.
So this was for grabbing like Guardy EXs during
Guardies, Mews
during base. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Mew VMAXs. Yeah. And that's such a strong effect. 1/6 or 320 into those Pokemon for instant KOs.
Yeah.
3 prizes, 2 prizes. That's so strong. Yeah. Definitely can see why this was super playable for at least a time period.
Yeah. But I was reminiscing on that, and I'm thinking about the market now. So for the actual information on it, the price has gone from, it is now sitting comfortably at $2,146.02. Around September 5th, it was sitting at $1,400, $1,480. So it has gone up a substantial amount of money in that time. If you have one, it's starting to flatten out. But it is the highest it has been in a year, actually.
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, that's a $600 price spike in the course of 2 weeks. You know, like most cards don't see anything close to that. So that's it's interesting to see that kind of inflation on a card.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that's.
We talked about it last week. Evolving Skies is out of print now, I'm pretty sure.
Yep, that's true too. Yeah.
The packs you see around are the packs that exist. And unless they do a massive reprint of Evolving Skies, which they might, I don't think it's out of the question. No, I misspoke. I think it's out of the question.
I don't think that ever happens, unfortunately. Evolving Skies, I think, is going to always be that like mythical, pay $20 for a pack kind of set at this point.
So sad. Maybe here's my copium. What I'll suggest. Maybe we get a greatest hits box where we get like a Moonbreon and we get the Akira Charizard. Or the 151 Charizard SIR.
We need celebrations round 2. That's what we need.
We do, yeah, no. But like with the arts included. I think that's the important part.
Yeah,
which maybe we've got the 30th anniversary coming up very soon.
I mean, those packs, if they start putting stuff like that in those packs with like the arts, it doesn't matter if it's a celebration.
Those are going to be $50 a pack.
Easily. That's like, a ETB of those is a car loaner,
Well, no, I'm talking like very much like dismantle the market type stuff where we put a Moonbreon in every pack. I'm talking villainous levels of distribution.
I mean, thoughts on that. Quick segue out of this. I do actually think part of that is they need to implement, at least for the US, they maybe need to start implementing God packs. I know that that's actually going to drive the collector value more, but I think genuinely, if you start including God packs, right?
They did with Prismatic Evolutions.
Prismatic was the first one to do it.
Yeah.
And I think if they do that for every single set, then you can start saying, okay, the pull rates inevitably go up because you inflate the chances. I mean, it's like it's super rare to like get a God pack, right?
Sure.
But it's more likely to get a God pack, I guess, and by default get more high rarity cards than to not get those high rarity cards if you're ripping out of sets that don't have those God packs. Because
right. Well, and if you're sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying because of that, that's how you increase the volume of high rarity cards and decrease the inflation a little bit.
Right, like if you're printing extra cards because you have to have enough to have the regular distribution and god packs, then it's going to naturally it's going to increase the availability and make cards more easy to come by. So I would love to see something like that, especially for something like this Moonbryon to come down, because we have one at a local store. Yeah. I'm never dropping 2 bans on that card. I've thought about it, but I'm like, I don't have 2 bans for anything. If I had 2 bans, I'd get a better PC setup. But like, it's a cool card and it's iconic, and I think it will stay iconic. So we'll have to see. But yeah, that's sitting comfortably at 2146. What are the other cards on this list? There's some interesting ones. I'd like you to walk me through those.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry to harp on that one for too long.
No,
but
it's okay. It was important to talk about.
Yeah. I think the next big one that we've got here is this Charizard VMAX, the Sword and Shield promo from D-Block. This art is really cool. I have not paid much attention to this card before, so this is kind of really my first time like looking at this art. This is sick art. I'm actually a little genuinely surprised this card has never seen much higher pricing than what it's at now, but
I can tell you why.
I'm sure because is it bad or just
it is part of a UPC.
Okay. That makes sense.
I have the playmat from this UPC as my mouse pad right now, and it is awesome.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense though. UPC cards tend to go to never do huge numbers, unfortunately. But maybe that's all right, right? This card is for the listeners at home. This card is seeing a price spike right now of about. It looks like it went up starting at the beginning of the month from about $30 to $36, and now is currently sitting at about 63 after topping out at a 65 a few days back.
Market price currently sits at 62.20.
Yeah. And so that's that's sizable compared to, I guess, like the life cycle of this card. Even looking at like the 1 year ago listings, right? This thing was sitting at about $15, So getting to see it, I guess, kind of quadruple in price is pretty sick. If you own this thing, you've got a decent bit on you, I guess.
Yeah, you can sell it, make a chunk of change for sure.
Yeah. It's just a fun card.
Yeah.
Moving right along, though, we have another card, Rayquaza VMAX, another VMAX card. It seems like these ones are doing the numbers recently. Rayquaza is coming up from being at about the mid 80s to spiking up to about 132 at the time of recording. The market price is 134, and it looks like it's still on the upward trend. So we might see this card go up still for a little while. The art on this card is super cool with Rayquaza and Zinnia.
This is the Silver Tempest. This is the Silver Tempest Trainer Gallery, by the way.
Yes.
So never a really well played card, but this is the one where Zinnia is stanced up on the card.
Oh yeah.
So it's cool. I love this art. It was a really really cool one.
Yeah, that's such sick art. I actually really like a lot of the art that came out from that era, that Sword and Shield era, the VMAXs and Silver Tempest especially. Man, I almost wish I had started playing a little earlier. I guess Maggie doesn't like me talking about these card prices.
I guess not. She's like, that's so expensive. Why would you ever pay $134 for a Rayquaza card?
Yeah,
that's terrible.
She can't fathom that. She hates it.
She's having premonitions of you spending her college fund on these cards.
Definitely not.
The most terrifying thing for her.
Look, I've got her college fund sitting on my desk right here. All right, I'm waiting for this card.
That white Flare Reshiram?
Yep, that is the white Flare Reshiram. This card is going to stay on my desk. It's going to stay packed nicely away until that set is no longer available, and then I'm going to look at maybe starting to sell it for her college fund.
Yeah.
On camera visit.
Hello, Maggie.
Moving right along, though, we have the next spike. This one's interesting, actually, because this card is a newer one, but this is Seismitoad from Black Bolt. It's the full art, and for those who don't know, it's a Shinji Kanda, so those tend to always get super hyped, and this one's no different. I actually really dig the art on this one. Like all Shinji Kondas, it's a bit trippy, it's a bit fun, and can't really hate it. But this thing has already seen a sizable spike when it first came out. It started out pretty low, but I mean, this thing spiked all the way up to about
pretty low, like $63 is low.
Okay, fair enough. Low for the standard full arts, I guess, or illustrations. It started out or it went all the way up to 230 and then kind of fell back down until the beginning of this month. So it fell from 230 to 150, and it's kind of on a slow upward trend back into the 200s right now. So I think if you're still ripping Black Bolt White Flare, trying to get some illustrations, this is another card that if you hold on to a little bit, see what happens, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. It's also interesting because I know last time we had a conversation about the potential inflation of these prices on TCG Player, but I also want to revisit that because I want to sit on this card for a second for two reasons. First of all, and this one's less important, but I'll get back into what I was saying in just a moment. I wanted to also bring up that Shinji Konda has a Duraludon in Mega Evolutions coming out, and it looks insanely good. We don't have to. I just wanted to say that when we actually discuss Inferno X, we can talk about that. But or Mega Evolutions or whatever. I forget when the Duraludon comes out. It might be Inferno X, but
that will be
but Shinji Konda has a Duraludon in that set that looks amazing. But the other thing, like I was saying, is like potential inflation of market price. Is that I looked on TCG Player, the source for this article, and what's interesting about this card is that the market price is listed at 208.20, but I opened up this card in another tab just to look at what the prices are, and like there's a lightly played hollow foil going for 127.43. There's a lightly played going for 175. There's a near mint going for 222. But I'm also seeing a lightly played for 84.95. I'm seeing a near mint for 89.94. I'm seeing another near mint for 89.95.
So I think
I just don't know how to read. I don't know how to read. These are the Japanese ones. I'm tripping.
Yeah. No, I think.
Right, never mind.
But
editor cut.
No, that. I think that's well, that's more the fault of TCG Player. I think TCG Player has an issue where they need to fix how people list some of these cards, because I did see those as well. The issue there is that despite the fact that you can select English for the card, people will still list Japanese cards in the English listing for a card. And that's already a problem. But that's a TCG Player problem.
Right. Granted, I don't think you should be buying from TCG Player anyways, but
not unless you really have to. But that's an ethics. That
is an ethics and other conversation. Okay, so my mistake about the market. I once again got market information wrong. Sue me. It's fine.
It's okay. We're trying to market manipulate by
true. We're trying to market
sell these for low
prices. We're trying to say that
these
seismatodes are worth nothing.
Yeah, this card's not worth
anything. It's only a $90 card, man. I'm not paying you $200 for that.
Yeah, I'll pay you $100.
Yeah, cool hundo. Call it a day.
Yeah. But it is what it is. Speaking though of Shinji Konda, we have another and the last listing on this website, the Shinji Konda Roaring Moon EX full art, or excuse me, illustration rare. That's
Shinji Konda as well?
Yep, it's from Prismatic Evolution, so another relatively new set.
How did I not know
this card is another one that saw a pretty sizable spike in spring this year, I think, which kind of makes sense. That was, a couple of months after Prismatic released, and I think when more and more people were starting to be able to get their hands on the set properly, and it saw a sizable spike all the way up to 300 at that time, and has slowly tapered off, but it's on the upswing again. So right now it's sitting at about 212. I think that this is another card where if you wanted to try to sell it now, you could, but I think as with all of these special sets, ultimately you're probably better off just holding the cards a lot of the time.
Yeah,
If your whole goal is to sell them, you're probably just best to hold them for quite a while, because like we talked about earlier with this article, Moonbryon is seeing huge spikes right now. We're seeing a Charizard card that was in a UPC suddenly start taking off. We're seeing Rayquaza VMAX slowly taking off to another pretty large spike, and that's a card that a year ago was only about $20 to $30 and saw a kind of a spike in the winter before plateauing for a while and seeing another spike again. So it's the kind of card that will ultimately, I think, see those kind of spikes, plateaus, and it'll do that for long 6-month stretches. I think that's your best bet if you are trying to sell newer cards from newer sets and their specialty sets. Hold on for a while.
Yeah.
Or don't listen to me. What do I know?
Yeah. This is, of course, as always, not financial advice. So, take all of the things we say here with a grain of salt.
Regardless, these are some cool arts that they featured in this article. These are cool cards that are seeing spikes.
It's also cool, I think, to revisit the history of the game a little bit, like we did with that Umbreon, like we did a little bit with Mew. It's cool to think about like the history of the game and how it's cool to see that there's at least 2 or 3 of these cards that have been playable.
Yeah, for sure,
to some degree.
When inevitably this happens again with this Roaring Moon EX card, we'll be able to talk about it again.
Yeah,
I'll love this card. This is Roaring Moon is truly one of my favorite decks. A few months back, almost a year ago now, it was probably one of my favorite decks for the latter half of the F block.
Certainly.
Set. Oh my god, I lost my thought there. Yeah, latter half of the F block series. But say la vie.
Yeah,
I think that's all I've got for this article, though.
Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with that. Again, that is the Poke Beach. No, not Poke Beach. That is a TCG player article with the biggest price spikes of the week. Now, granted, if you're hearing this on free feeds, this is old news. This is last week's news. The new article is out today, and you can either go and check that out right now, or you can wait until next week when we cover it. Now, the next thing that we're really talking about is Inferno X, which does come to us from Poke Beach, where all 80 main set cards for Phantasmal Flame, which for what will become our Phantasmal Flame set, did get revealed. So Phantasmal Flames is going to be made up of the Inferno X Japanese set, as well as the Mega Evolution decks.
Yes, you're getting the Mega Evolutions Gengar.
Yeah, the Gengar and the
Mega
Diancie.
Gengar EX deck, and then the same one, Mega Diancie, and those are. So I guess Japan gets them as deck exclusives, and then we will get all of the cards that are in those decks with the Inferno X cards for our set. So it's a little bit of a smaller set, actually, I guess. Maybe it's not smaller, but maybe it's more like it's down to a appropriate set size, I would say, for us. Phantasmal Flames will be, at least, in comparison to some of the previous sets we've gotten, where we've had, I know, what was it, Black Bolt and White Flare. Between the two of those, granted that's specialty, but between the two of those saw like 160 or 180 cards in total in English.
Well, Black Bolt White Flare is a special occasion because they add SIRs for every Pokemon.
Yes.
And it's a specialty set. I think Infernal Flames is going to be our specialty set as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think but just to like even with that, like Destined Rivals, I'm pretty sure had quite a large number of cards in it. I'm gonna try to find some number on that real quick, if I can.
Sure.
But let me see. Yeah, Destined Rivals saw a total of 182 mainline cards before getting into the special illustrations and things like that. which is quite a lot. So this one, I believe Phantasmal Flames, according to Pokemon's information, is going to be down a little bit, about like 120-ish or so. So,
oh, interesting.
yeah, that'll bring us down to probably a more appropriate number. I think I've heard like people lament that sets are getting a little bit too large. But yeah, I think overall, the Inferno X stuff coming out looks pretty cool. We've got some cool cards in here. I don't know if you want to go over too many of them right now, or if we can do that at a later date.
I think we'll go over like the main set proper at a later date, because I think we'll probably get the full English set revealed before we go over it, because that'll also include SIRs. We'll be able to do like what you did that one time and go over like for a full art review. I think that'll be a better use of our time for covering Inferno X. So if you're satisfied on this, we can move on. Sound good?
Perfectly fine. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. We're back from a quick bathroom break. We're now moving on to the what we're playing section of the show, and I'm gonna be really honest with you guys. I have not played a single game of Pokemon since last week's episode. I have been like I said earlier, I have been deep in the mines of Borderlands 4, just grinding out that game. It is so much fun. I know it's not Pokemon related, but I have to sing this game's praises. It is one of my favorite franchises ever, and I think this is maybe this might be my new favorite installment in the franchise. And that is big praise. I have collective months of playtime in Borderlands 2. So I've bought that game countless times on multiple consoles and inputs and platforms.
I'm right there. I'm right there with you. I will buy a game multiple times if it's like one that I mean, the listeners have heard us harp on and on about Slay the Spire plenty of times, especially if they're listening to the Patreon content.
True, which you should.
They've heard us harp on and on about Slay the Spire. I've bought that multiple times, so I'm right there with you.
Oh yeah, me too. I bought it on Switch, and I think I bought it on Xbox as well. Or no, I bought it on PC as well.
Yeah.
And it's on Game Pass right now, so.
I've done the exact same thing. Bought it on Switch, bought it on my PC, I bought it on my phone. I bought it on my wife's phone before I bought it on my phone, because it was out on iPhones before it was on Androids for like a month.
Stop being bored. But
so honestly, I'm happy I got it on my wife's iPhone, because she has played the crap out of the game. She loves it.
That's good. Love that.
Yeah. Sorry, not to take away from Borderlands, but yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying that, man.
Yeah, it's so much fun. It seems it's very different from every other game in the franchise, in that it is an open world rather than a series of open worlds in a linear story. So like there'll be like transitions between locations.
Gotcha.
In older titles, where you'll have like one map that leads into another, and they're all segmented and they have their own story beats and stuff like that. But Borderlands 4 is truly open worlds, except for like there's a couple of dungeons you have to enter for major boss fights. But other than that, it is almost entirely open world, and you can kind of go wherever, whenever, and the difficulty scales to what your level is while you're playing, something that Scarlet and Violet should have had at launch. But it's
so is that
really
like
fun.
That's not like areas aren't locked at like a specific level of scaling. The scaling as the game goes matches what you're at, so you can kind of like go anywhere.
Yeah, from what I understand. I don't think I've done anything out of order exactly, but everything seems pretty much just to scale at what level you are, which is cool. It means you can't over-level. It means you get to just kind of do whatever you want.
Yeah.
It means you don't have to wait for like multiple playthroughs to go back and farm bosses for their drops. It's been a lot of fun. I'm playing a tank build, which I don't normally play tank characters. He's like the melee specialist tanky guy, and I never play that character. I'm never really that guy. I like summoner type characters and mages and stuff like that. So this is a very different way to play, and I'm having a good time.
Yeah, and that's super sick.
The gameplay is a lot of fun. I'm discovering new movement tech. I'm trying to get into builds, and that's a lot of fun. But yeah, not much Pokemon this week, except for I did finish season 1 of Concierge. If you're listening to this on free feeds, we're actually not doing the concierge spoiler cast this week. We're having to push that back 1 week, I believe, if not a little more, just on account of some scheduling conflicts. So we're gonna push that back a little bit, but I'm excited to get into the concierge spoiler cast when we do over on patreon.com/terminal creative. I almost just listed off the Patreon for a podcast I listened to, for like 2 of them actually that I listened to. I was almost like, Last Day Media. Wait, no. Snark Tank. Wait, no. This is my show. I need to figure this out. But yeah, so that's been my most Pokemon consumption this week, has been Pokemon Concierge. Season 1 was beautiful. Really excellent show. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's cool to look at the animation of that show. I'm a big fan of it. But yeah, what have you been playing this week, Johnny? Or if you've been engaging with the Pokemon franchise at all? You don't have to have been. It's okay.
I really haven't, actually. I think I hit dailies on like live just to, get credits so that I can maintain a healthy amount of those for whenever it comes out for a new set, so that I can dump all of them, get a bunch of cards, and then, good for another, 8 months or whatever.
Yeah.
So I've been keeping up with my dailies. I'm still playing Flareon on live. It's still a good deck. I probably will switch back to Terrabox at some point, just because it's doing the numbers right now. Or I'll play my version of Greninja, honestly, because another deck that has been doing really good right now.
Yeah.
I'm having fun with more of the off meta stuff if I'm playing, but to be honest, the season or the format is almost over. I've been a little bit deflated on the current format at this point, and I kind of want to play with some of the new cards. I'm really hoping that some of them are good and that we aren't super stuck in like Gardevoir's world or Dragapult meta.
Yeah.
But sadly, I'm sure we will be, so I will still probably stick with slightly off meta, or at least like B tier decks instead, and have a little more fun with those, I think, when the time comes for those. The one thing I'm looking forward to, I don't want to harp on to like this too much, because I know this is what we're playing, but the one thing I am looking forward to a lot, at least with live, is the trainer trials were announced for the next round for the Mega Evolution set, and week, I believe it's 3 and 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Isn't that GLC again? It's going to be GLC again, and I'm looking forward to that because I'm super excited to play more GLC on live. It's not full GLC, and I know that, and that's very unfortunate, but live GLC still is pretty good. It's not perfect, but it is probably the closest we'll ever get for the immediate future, and it's still a lot of fun. You still have most everything, and things that you don't have, you can probably find a way to circumvent. And you always just remember that, everyone is playing the exact same way you're playing. So everyone is playing without, Battle Compressor. Everyone's playing without VS Seeker, and you just kind of live with that,
Yep.
There's still plenty of good cards available. If
you can still play most standard water decks just fine.
You can play pretty much every deck, I think. There's really no decks that you can't play unless they specifically rely on a card that wasn't around for the Sword or for Sun and Moon onward. I think like Duskstone, right, is like one of those where it's like you can't do like a Psychic Dusk Buddies kind of deck. That's like one of the big ones. You can't do I know there's other ones, I'm sure.
You can't do the best deck in the format. You can't do game show.
You can't do Game Show. That's true. That's very unfortunate.
So sad.
But we can still play our Lost Zone decks, and that's still really strong on live. It's still really fun. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that at least. But as far as what I've actually been playing, I sat down yesterday. I think it was actually, because I'd been planning on doing this. I sat down to play Metroid Dread again, or rather, I guess, restart it. I picked it up. I bought it when it first came out, and I played a few hours of it, and I don't know why I stopped at the time. I'm sure something in life distracted me, and I just never picked it back up again. But between the Nintendo Direct and getting to see a video of Samus on a motorcycle, super cool. Yeah. If you haven't seen the trailer for that, if you're listening to this and you haven't seen the trailer for that, please go watch it. Metroid Prime 4 is probably one of the hypest games I've ever like one of the games I've just been the hypest for in a while. I am in love with the Metroid series. I have loved it since I was a kid. It's truly one of my favorite Nintendo franchises. I think that everything about it, for most of the games at least, has been so carefully crafted and designed to be just the coolest like way to tell a sci-fi story that any game has ever had. And I will stand by that. Whoa. The only exception is Other M, but we don't have to like, you know, Other M had cool combat. Other M had a terrible story.
So you put Metroid up there with Halo as far as storytelling goes?
Oh my god, I think Metroid has some of the coolest like storytelling, in my opinion. Just in my opinion, at least. It comes down to the way storytelling is done for Metroid. It also comes down not just to storytelling, I think, but it comes down to gameplay and how Metroid has. Oh my god, I could go on and on about this topic, so I don't want to like go too far into it. But Metroid has come up with a way, like Nintendo's come up with a way with Metroid to create a sense of dread and a sense of fear in isolated worlds, right? In a game that's not typically a horror series, right? They have still managed to create these like motifs of tension and suspense and make it harder for you. I think one of my favorite representations, like I said, I don't want to get into too far, but my favorite representation of this is Metroid Prime 1. Very specifically, if you haven't played it, I would seriously say, for you and for anyone else, go play it. Seriously, really cool. But the first time you find the Space Pirate base area in the game,
spoilers for Metroid Prime 1, I guess, by the way.
Spoilers for Metroid Prime 1 if you haven't played a 2-decade-old game at this point.
I haven't.
There's a location in it called the Phazon Mines, and it's like it's your first step into the Space Pirate territory in the game after you have not really encountered much other than like a single base they've set up in another area. In this area, there's like, it takes you a solid like 20 to 30 minutes of gameplay through probably some of the more grueling combat sections of the game before you go from the entrance to your first save room in that area. It takes quite a bit of work, and this is like there's limited areas for saving, there's limited resources for healing up in this area, and then on top of that, in order to get to the save room, you still have to fight a boss or like a mini boss at least before you actually get a chance to save. Wow. So if you lose and like if you get killed in any portion of that, you're redoing half of the area again.
Wow.
It's crazy how much you have to work for that. It's probably one of the best. So if you're like new and you're going in blind, it's so tense because you're like, when am I going to find a save point? When am I going to find a space to like
catch my breath?
Just not lose, because it's like combat intensive for what the game is, at least.
Interesting.
And then when you actually are playing the game as a person who knows about it, you still kind of feel that. You're like, oh, I have to do this section again. That's like a tough section.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you have to go further into that area to, I think, almost the next save point before you find an item that gets you a shortcut out of the full area.
Oh, wow.
Back to that side. So like, it's an interesting area. But yeah, long story short, I've been playing Metroid Dread again.
That's okay.
I picked it back up, and man, they knocked it out of the park with this game. The portrayal of Samus is so cool. I hit one of my favorite bits in it, actually, from the time that I had played it, and I just hit it again recently. There's a boss fight against Kraid, and and Samus drops. So like the cinematic for it, like they really went all out with like the graphics on stuff on this one, but the cinematic is so cool. Samus like drops into this arena, is on like this ready position, because you've heard some roaring and seen some shaking in like a couple of the previous rooms, so you're not sure what to expect. You drop in, she's kind of like looking around, ready position, you know, arm cannon raised up, hand on it, and then out of like kind of the darkness is this giant form of Kraid, who's one of like the classic bosses.
Yeah.
And if you've played like Metroid Zero Mission, right, Kraid is portrayed, especially in that one, like recanonized as this pretty large dinosaur-looking creature.
Mm-hmm.
And she sees it and immediately drops the ready position, right? It's like this like idea of, oh, I know who you are.
Interesting.
You're not worth my time. And the thing, like, it Kraid like roars in her face, and she literally, like, while he's like roaring in her face, she's literally charging up like a shot on her cannon and just shoots it into his mouth. That's in awesome. The cinematic. It's so cool. It's such a fun way to like handle this boss fight. It eases up some of the tension actually that you get building up to it, and makes you feel more badass as you're building into what is a area boss fight, more or less. So yeah, been having a lot of fun. That game also definitely has a lot of tense moments and some really cool design. It creates pockets of tension with some enemies in it that are unkillable without like finding a specific thing to kill them with. That's like part of the process of killing them, and there's like 7 of them scattered throughout the game. But before you've killed them, you have to like play like hide and seek through the areas, more or less, using
that's cool.
new pickups that you get each time you kill one of them, and new stuff that you find throughout your game. So like they've got, you know, yeah, I'm not going to go, like I said, too far into that anymore. I don't want to run our time too much with that, but
that's fine. Well, yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying Metroid.
Having a ton of fun with that.
It's funny you mentioned that. I also picked up a Metroidvania. I actually, in light of Silksong releasing, picked up Hollow Knight, the first one. It's on Game Pass right now. I started playing that, and it lost me pretty quick. I'll probably jump back in a little bit, but like Borderlands 4 came out, so I just have been focused on that. I'll maybe jump back into Hollow Knight and maybe some more Expedition 33. But I've been focused pretty hard on Borderlands. So I'm glad you're enjoying Metroid Dread. I'm looking forward to Metroid Prime 4. I still got to watch that trailer, actually. I haven't even seen it. I'm really excited. It's sick. I'll have to watch that after this.
I'm interested to see what comes with that game. I'm super, super excited for it. So
yeah. All right. Well, the next thing we have to talk about is actually the current, what's currently happening at the time of recording this, and that is the Pittsburgh Regional Championships. We have a couple of local players who went. First of all, our friend of the show, and potential soon part-time co-host Zach. I've invited them to come on the show in a more permanent position, and they've made themselves available a couple times. So I want to see about getting them on the show more frequently, just because I love recording with them. We always have such good conversations. So they're currently there. Do you remember what their record was?
Because I think I'd have to dig back through Zach's updates as the day went, but
I think they did a final wrap up, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I know they're out of
4 losses.
Yeah, 4 losses.
Out of the day, so that's a 4, or that's what I think they had, a 3-1-4 or 3-4-1.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Seems right.
They were playing Dusk Pult, if I'm not mistaken. We also have some other players. Riley is there. Who else is in there? From our area?
Local and newly crowned senior Joseph.
Oh,
B
Master. Yeah, Joseph Björk.
Or Master. Excuse me. Yeah. So Joseph, the
world semifinalist.
Is Joseph making their regional debut on this one, or were they at any of the other ones?
They might have been at the other ones. I'm not sure if he was or not. But that kid's a monster. I hope he's
Yeah.
doing well.
Yeah, I don't. Certainly, if Joseph went to either of the ones from last weekend, there's no day 2 listing for it, so I don't know for sure. But that said, still really cool to see them, debuting doing well and having a good run of it. Hopefully,
yeah, certainly. It's cool that we've got a handful of players. We got some really good players in Charlotte, so it's always good to see representation in other areas. I don't know what everybody else was playing. I just know what Zach was playing because they're part of our group chat, the smaller group chat for the show, and for just us being pals. Now, let's see. Do we want to talk about the like most recent some stream highlights, or do we want to talk about this regional merchandise thing that we never got to touch on when we were talking about events earlier? I have some words.
Let's go with the regional merchandise thing. I was gonna, before doing that, really quickly just mention, so I just jumped on Pokedata. Joseph is going 6-1 right now. I believe
Nice.
This is their first regional for the season.
As a master, for sure. Yeah, I think so.
Yes. I think this is their first regional for the season as a master. They're 6-1 right now, which puts I think that puts them in standings for day 2.
I wouldn't be surprised, even a little bit.
Yep. So it'll be cool to see how that works out.
He's so good.
Mm-hmm. Yo, my God, amazing.
So,
but yeah, right.
Yeah. Shout out to him.
Let's talk about some of this merch first.
Yeah. So, the Pokemon Company released a line of regional. It's their regional championships collection, Series 26. So, you've got some shirts. I don't know exactly where this article is. I'm looking at the GamingGen tweet about it. I don't know exactly where the original article came from. I think it's in our Discord somewhere if you're able to pull that up. But I'm looking at a spread of like shirts and jerseys, some deck boxes, some sleeves, a playmat, a crossbody bag, a hat, a pin, some leather jackets, and some hoodies, which are cool. And I'm starting to realize that this merch is definitely for VGC players. Because I'm looking at the lineup they have, and it's like, all right, a Zoomeril t-shirt.
Well,
I'm looking at
some of it definitely is, but
like, so at least like the wearables, because you've got like a Zoomeril, and like we've got Gardevoir, I guess, but they've got Incineroar.
I'm gonna share my screen with this because I found some pics.
They've got the Pachirisu merch. They've got the Salamence, T-Tar, Pachirisu, and Garchomp hoodie. Yeah, there you go. That's the image I'm looking at too. And it's cool, but I wish we had a little more merchandise representing TCG.
I mean, you can, I guess, get your playmat and crossbody and sleeves and deck box.
I think the crossbody goes bananas. I'll get a crossbody. I do not care.
The crossbody's sick. Yeah, absolutely.
I love a crossbody bag. I have discovered in recent history, I am absolutely like the more vain person in my marriage. I'm like the one who's always like, no, I need new shoes, I need a new bag, I need a new hat, new clothes. Like I said earlier, I went to Sam's Club and I bought they had like Adidas on sale for $40 a pair, and I was only planning on getting one pair at first, but then I was like, wait a minute, they have them in white and black. I'll just put these on the Sam's Club card and get both. And just pay it off over time, because I need some basic like sneakers anyway. I can't just wear Vans and Converse all the time. I need something with a little more support. So I was like, heck, I'll get that. And then like, of course, getting like the hoodie today, being hype about that. And I have so many bags, dude. I've got fanny packs, crossbodies, mini backpacks. I love a Herschel bag. Herschel's just... Ooh, excuse me, I'm hiccuping. So many just nice bags. But I love a crossbody. I'm still trying to get the Professor crossbody at some point in the near future if they don't retire it. But I love a crossbody bag. They're great. But yeah, what do you think of this merch?
I think this is cool. I like seeing that they want to brand a season, you know, and not just like, here's some generic whatever, you know, things to purchase, you know, like we're going to have our own station set up with some merch to buy, not just like, because, you know, normally this is like prize wall stuff, right? Like if you want this kind of stuff, go earn some tickets in a side event and prize wall it. But I like the fact that they're just like, hey, you know, here's a shirt. And the prices are actually very reasonable, I think, all things considered. Like, for what these are, for being like relatively exclusive products that you can only get at these events, these are pretty matching to, I think, like what an event of some sort of whatever, you know, shirt or hat would be, right? I go to like a concert, I can expect to pay 30 to 40 for a branded t-shirt, you know?
Yeah.
That I can either only get at the concert, or that if I wanted, I would have to order online and pay more because of shipping and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't really mind this at all in that sense. I mean, if you're looking at this,
very reasonable.
Yeah, and if you're looking at this on our YouTube and you're seeing the price on this leather jacket and freaking out about that, that's a perfectly acceptable price to pay for a quality leather jacket.
Yeah, like... leather jackets are expensive. I'm actually more outraged about the hoodie.
I think the hoodie is maybe a little egregious.
That's the only one that I think it's a little egregious. But like,
I think hoodies are maybe a little egregious, but you know.
Yeah, I'm looking at like a JCPenney vintage leather jacket. That's $117, and that's JCPenney prices. Like, you're not going to JCPenney if you really care about clothes. Sorry.
No.
Sorry.
No.
But like a Michael Kors one. Let's see. Maybe I'm being bougie. Sorry. I like kind of care about fashion more than I realized, but like a Michael Kors leather jacket in a medium is $250. Grow up.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you like a proper leather jacket, and this might even be discounted because it may not be like full leather. It could be like some kind of mix or like a leather combo or something like that. But like, if this is full leather, this is so sick.
Yeah.
You know? Honestly, I think maybe the I don't know, like there's really nothing else like that's too crazy here. Deck boxes being $10 is pretty standard. You know? Sleeves that I'm never going to play with being $10 is pretty standard. The crossbody.
Well, I'm curious who manufactures those sleeves. If they're like TPCI or if they're Ultra Pro. Because if they're Ultra Pro, $10 is a good price.
Yes, yeah, for sure. I would hope that it would be TPCI.
Yeah, me too.
That would be doing it themselves, or like maybe they're running it through Ultra Pro. I don't know. I don't know. As long as they're like if they are premium enough quality for $10, I would say it's worthwhile. But
yeah, sure.
You know,
I think. Yeah. Give me 2 items on this list that you would get if you had to pick 2. What are you getting?
Oh man, if I have the money, I mean, if I have the money for it, the leather jacket.
Yeah, really, money's not the
absolutely.
Issue.
Yeah, if I have the money for it, leather jacket. If I'm there in the event and I really don't have the money for it, 2 things that I'm still getting, probably that Pachirisu long sleeve. I like a good like white long sleeve. Big fan of that. And then, oh man, maybe the hoodie still. Honestly, I like a good hoodie. I don't know. I'm a sleeves kind of guy. I realize like I have like enough tattoos on my arms that like I should wear short sleeves and show them off more. But I like sleeves too much. I don't know why.
Good. No, I agree.
So
I'm kind of right there with you. If I'm picking 2, actually, like my first one is obviously like I'm locking in that crossbody because I just looked it up. The Professor crossbody is not available.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's tough. It's rough out here. The Professor store has not seen an update in so long. It's tragic. Since like Prismatic Evolutions.
Oh my god.
We're and we haven't gotten restocks on a lot of stuff. It's really rough out here. But my second item, I'm stuck between 3 actually. I'm stuck between the Pachirisu long sleeve, the hoodie, and actually the Landorus jersey. Really? I like a jersey. Okay. I like a good jersey, I think. Nice and comfortable. It's made to be, because here's my thing. I want to be comfy. And right now, my house is hot. So I'm not wearing I wore a sweater last week for the show. By the time we were done, I was sweating buckets. I couldn't do it.
Okay, that's fair.
So like I've got a tower fan blowing on me constantly while we record. So I think I like the jersey. I like to be comfortable. Those convention centers are hot too. So you wanna make sure you're ready to go for that, comfortable with that, nice and aerated, so you're not building up a bunch of BO. And $50 for a jersey is pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. That's super fair. You know what? I'll take it.
I don't know. It's between those three for me, because I also love a hoodie and I love a long sleeve. But I'm giving special consideration to the Landers jersey. All right.
Very fair.
Let's move on from the merch, because I think the merch is cool, but I don't think we have to do too much about it. The next thing we wanted to talk about is some of these stream matches. Just a little bit before we go, because there's a little bit to talk about, and then we'll go
quick
for
highlights on them.
Yeah.
At the time that we kind of like pulled these up, there were a few matches that had gone. Day one always starts in like match like
round 3
4 or something like that. It always starts like round 4. I think round 4 now. It used to be 3.
Okay.
Now it's 4. I don't know. I haven't been paying too much attention, like exactly what. I think they started around 4 today. But the first notable stream match they actually did was a Pult versus Guardy match, Tale as Old as Time. I think the more notable portion of it was that one of the players in this was Aban Ahmed, who won the Monterey Regional with his Gardevoir list.
Wow!
And so he brought it back. He rocked it back and went for a clean 2-0. I did get a chance to watch that one.
Very nice.
So it was a cool match. I didn't really watch any others after that, because at the time we were heading out for the day. But the other matches, from my look back, they had a Pult versus Conkeldurr match. The Conkeldurr player, very unfortunately, did not win either game.
So sad.
Hate to see it. I don't think Conkeldurr has the chance to win in that one. Unfortunately, Pult's a little too big, and Conkeldurr is a little too squishy, and Pult has too many tools. The match after that was a Bolt versus Golden Go matchup. Bolt won, which is also pretty standard. Golden Go is not fast enough to beat Bolt. It's like one of the worst matchups that Golden Go has, unfortunately, where Golden Go normally outspeeds some other decks. It just cannot handle Raging Bolt punching into it a lot faster.
Right.
So, and then the last one that we were kind of watching before starting the stream, because it was finishing up.
Crazy game.
Very interesting game. I'll definitely go back and like watch it properly. Terrabox Zard versus Guardy. I say Terrabox Zard because it's more of like a Charizard list with the Noctowl engine mashed in, but it's not just that, because they decided to include the Terrapagos is sometimes standard when you do that list. I've noticed.
Yeah, there's like Zard turtle lists, Zard owls is already in deck, right? But this is
Zard owls with like a turtle to enable your stuff. This was full owls, where like those lists usually don't run like a 4 owl line. They usually run like a 3 owl line or something like that, because it just has to have a lot of space. This one I think went on a thinner list of Zard, and I'd like to go check it out later once we get all of the tournament results. They went on a thicker owl line, turtles, and a Wellspring Mask in the deck, and that is such a sick combo.
I wonder if that's just for Saw Block, or if they're playing a way to Torrential Pump as well.
I'm almost certain they're probably throwing like a Luminous in there. There's almost certainly a Luminous in there, because if you can Zard Fire Energy onto your Wellspring, right? Like you don't have to commit. If you can set up like Zard early on, you don't have to commit to the Zard. You can always go, okay, I'll get all 3 energy out of my deck, but I'll put 2 onto the Wellspring and 1 onto the Zard, and then I can always get more energy out with another Zard later, or just grab 1 energy that I'm going to draw into or search for with Earthen Vessel or something like that, and just attach to my Zard later, so I don't have to commit 2 energy onto Zard right away. I can do that and Luminous and, take some snipe KOs like that. I think that's really, really cool. It's an inventive way to play the deck. But it also played into Grant Manley. Andrew Hedrick was on stream, though, a little later on. I did notice in the middle of our recording. Grant Manley on Gardevoir.
Another North Carolina local. Not in our
another area. North Carolina local. No, not in our area, but they Grant played Gardevoir and managed to pull out an impressive game 2 win to get the tie in that matchup, because that's definitely a very anti-Guardy type of deck. You have the Snipes with the Wellspring Mask. You have the Charizard to get these double damage onto the Guardies and take KOs that way. So to be able to pull out that win in game 2 and get a tie, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd say so. Interesting. All right. Well, my left light has died. It's time for us to start wrapping things up here. We have one more thing to go over real quick. I just wanted to mention for our VGC fans, one of you, I'm sure there is. We aren't really in a position to speculate. Like I said, we haven't really been playing any Pokemon at all this week, and so certainly not any VGC or Showdown or anything like that. And I think I'm personally holding off for a little bit until Showdown or Champions comes out, so that I can get like a better idea of how that's going to play. But so we can't really speculate on any of the stream matches or any team comps or anything like that at the moment. But we'll be able to go. We're going to go over our predictions next week based off of last week's regional finals, so we can see what were our predictions. Number of teams with the Scyther core, and number of in Top Cut, and number of teams with the Hisuian Sneasler in Top Cut, or number of Hisuian Sneaslers in Top Cut. And we'll have to see what those results are. We'll go over that next week. But the one thing that is noteworthy is the Shiny Chi-Yu event is now complete. So if you're playing Scarlet and Violet, you can pick up your Shiny Chi-Yu. That is the 4th and final Treasure of Ruin that you're able to pick up now from these Terra raids. I hope you had fun with those. I had fun with all the ones that I participated in. I did not actually get to play against this Chi-Yu because I was busy. But pretty exciting stuff. It's cool to get these shiny locked Pokemon. There's also that new shiny Miraidon and Koraidon event coming out soon for GameStop, I want to say.
Very cool.
That is important to look out for, especially if you're a shiny hunter or want a living dex. Be certain to look out for that. But I think, do you have anything about these shinies or shiny Pokemon in general before we wrap up the show?
No, but it's certainly cool to see stuff like that being offered to the players, especially with like legendaries,
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, that is all we've got for you folks today. Thank you for coming out and listening to N21FM, a Pokemon podcast. We hope you've enjoyed yourself. We hope that you will consider supporting us over on patreon.com/terminalcreative. $1 a month early access, $5 is audience participation, and $10, down from $15 because I forgot what the price tag actually was, is that producer credit tier where you can get your name right at the end of the show, as well as all of the other benefits and perks. We deeply appreciate your love and kindness and support, even just by watching the show, leaving a like, a comment, subscribing, and sharing it with your friends. Actually, if you made it to this point in the show, I'll request now that you actually try to share this show with 3 friends. 3 friends who play Pokemon or just are into Pokemon. And let them know about this show. Tell them to watch it, give it a listen. And we'll see if each of you does that, we'll be in pretty good shape, I think. But I'm interested to see if you guys can get that word out. That is our challenge to you. Johnny, anything you're doing with the rest of the night or the week?
Yeah, nothing too much else. We're gonna be recording our bonus episode here in just a little bit.
Ooh, yes. That will be live on Patreon at the time this goes on free feeds. That is with Brian, who we've had on the show for Games Talks before. So maybe we'll talk some more gaming stuff there with him as well.
Yeah. Outside of that, the rest of the week, I'm hyped up for a concert tomorrow. That's my big thing.
Ooh, who are you going to see?
I'm going to go see the band Bill Murray.
Nice.
Big fan of that sort of pop metal kind of combo sound. It's done in a really unique way with them. So super excited.
Very cool. I was listening to, I was reintroduced to and kind of rediscovered actually an older kind of metal adjacent band that I'm a big fan of and didn't realize how big of a fan of I am, in the form of Zebrahead recently.
Ooh, okay.
So,
yeah.
I was listening to some Zebrahead at work yesterday and I was digging it. They're a good band. Well, I hope you enjoy your concert.
Infamous words, hell yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. Enjoy your concert. Thank you for your time, for your hanging out with me here on the show. I appreciate you. I hope you have a great week. And we'll be doing the bonus here in about an hour or so. I'll see you then, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. And to everyone at home, thank you for coming out and watching us and for supporting us. We hope you have a great week, and we will see you next time. Peace out.